Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is a full review. This is Patchouli Noir by Terence Hughes. I'll be completely honest, there's two versions of this, an original version and a new version. I have no idea which one this is. I'm presuming it's the new version because I'm just presuming, but we'll get into a review. Like I say, I'm not fully sure, I just think it's the new version. But what I get from this when I first apply it is, the first thing that struck me was that it's quite sweet. The initial blast was definitely this vanilla tonka kind of combination. There are some spices listed: ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg. Get hints of those. None of them are fighting for position. I just get a general kind of light spiciness. There is something a little bit fresh in the opening, and there was an extra sweetness that I picked out that I knew definitely wasn't the tonka or the vanilla, and I re-looked at the note list and saw coconut was listed. And I think coconut, luckily this doesn't smell like suntan lotion, so don't worry about that. But the coconut vibe just gives it a kind of a unique slight sweetness, and maybe a hint of a lactonic kind of creaminess as well, without being too in your face or too prominent. It's just subtle, it's there, it's noticeable, it's adding something just a little bit extra. But the main focus were these combination of sweet notes of, you know, like I say, tonka, vanilla, coconut, kind of giving this cocoon of sweetness, dabbles of spice in the opening. Patchouli Noir wasn't what I expected with the name. The patchouli note wasn't like hugely, it's not like dark patchouli, like black patchouli or dark patchouli. I don't get that kind of vibe personally. This is more focused on this kind of creamy sweetness on my skin, and the patchouli is more noticeable as it starts to dry down. It gets a little bit, what I would say, patchouli can go a little bit itchy, if you know what I mean, a little bit scratchy sometimes, and I get that in the dry down, just a little bit of a scratchiness from the patchouli. And the patchouli has these kind of chocolatey nuances. Chocolate is listed on the notes. It's not massively chocolatey. And the patchouli, it doesn't come across green, it doesn't come across earthy, it's not massively in your face. Like I say, Patchouli Noir doesn't quite fit in my imagination of when I smell this. Maybe Tonka Noir would have been a more appropriate fit in my mind, at least with my skin chemistry. Tonka Noir would fit better. But the patchouli is there. It's like I say, mixing with the sweet notes, and as it dries down further, you get these kind of waves of sweetness that can be a little bit chocolatey now and again with the patchouli, and it ends with this kind of almost, it's been on my skin now all day, and there's clean skin accord listed. I get something light, musty, clean skin-like vibe in the dry down of this. Presumably some kind of musk molecule that's just soft and not soapy, but just skin-like, natural skin kind of vibe. I would say this is a cold weather winter fragrance for the night time, and for me it had quite a mass appeal to it in terms of kind of almost going into designer kind of territory, in terms of more like weirdly artistic niche. This is more mainstream, mass appeal, designer like in that regard, in terms of the scent, the style, the mass appeal nature of it. A little bit more designer like. It reminds me of a few kind of other fragrances in terms of style and with it being mass appealing. It obviously follows a certain kind of formula and style of these particular sweet notes that are found commonly in other fragrances. And so it reminds me of a few, but with it kind of being its own thing at the same time. Like I said, the coconut thing gives it a slightly unusual sweetness and something just a little bit extra there. In terms of performance for this, the projection sillage was quite good in the first couple of hours. I could definitely smell a bubble around me very easily when first applying, so it floated around quite well. Longevity, it's been on my skin all day, and it's just kind of fading away into a skin scent. It came closer to the skin after around 3 hours. It's been around the 6 hour mark now, and it's really kind of tailing off into nothing at the moment. So on my skin, between 5, 6, 7 hours maybe, in general around the 6-hour mark. And so majority of the day, for me, like I say, cold weather, winter fragrance, more mass appealing. If you like your more kind of sweet tonka, vanilla-y, chocolatey kind of fragrances, you might quite like this one. I would recommend, I wouldn't blind buy a bottle. I would buy a 10ml sample like this. It's around 20 something pounds, which is good pricing. This is enough to last a few weeks or a month, depending how much you wear, obviously. But you'll get a good feel whether you want to buy a full bottle after testing a sample like this. That way, I think they're brilliant, very good. So if you're interested and you want to check it out, definitely get yourself a 10ml. I think the size is perfect and it's affordable. See if you like it, see how you feel, and then go ahead and buy a bottle if it fits and connects with you. For me, for my personal taste, a little bit too sweet for me. I'm not massively into the whole tonka thing, and for me this felt a little too focused on the vanilla tonka coconut kind of vibe, with the patchouli, at least in my experience, just being a little bit behind that sweetness instead of being at the front. I don't, like I say, I don't get the dark patchouli black or patchouli noir. I don't get that vibe personally. It's like the tonka, the sweetness, that creamy kind of sweetness is the forefront. The kind of patchouli chocolatey vibe is just in and amongst and, you know, in between all of that. So that's my take on it. That's what I get. I think mass appealing, likable, a lot of people will like it, but it does go into the more mass appeal designer kind of territory for me, for my senses, for the way that I perceive it. Not that that's a bad thing, I just think that appeals to more people, and maybe that's what Aaron's going for with that. That's it, and hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.